CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Havana calling. CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio emitters. Welcome to DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hola, mis amigos radio aficionados all around the world. I am Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur 02KK, that's my ham radio call sign. In phonetics, Charlie Oscar 2 Kilo Kilo. I'm your host here at this, the weekend edition of DXers Unlimited, your favorite radio hobby program, on the air and also on the World Wide Web streaming audio. Plus, also now on 4 FM broadcast band frequencies here in Cuba, 24 hours a day. Here's now item 1 of the show. Again, more bad news for high frequency band DXers. The monthly average sunspot number for September confirmed as just 3.3, very low. This is for sure solar minimum happening right now. Bad for the high frequency bands, but paradoxically good for the lower frequency bands like the AM medium wave worldwide spectrum assignment spanning from 530 kHz to 1710 kHz, still in use by practically all nations of the world. Still many stations on AM still on the air. Sunspot finally returned on September 29th after over 2 weeks with none in sight. During the past week, we saw more sunspots, but a single one. Average daily sunspot numbers increased from 0 to 9.6, and the average daily solar flux increased slightly from 67.9 to 68.4, almost nothing. That's comparison between September 27 and last October the 3rd. The average daily planetary A index geomagnetic disturbance indicator declined from 10.9 to 7.7, and that's good news for the lower frequency band L2CR. Predicted solar flux is very low, 68 on October 5 to 18. It's going to be flat. October 19 through November 2, also 68, also 70, and we expect something higher than 70 for the next few days. Now the solar cycle is definitely at its tail end, but many more months of zero sunspots are going to be happening during the next year or so. The latest compilation of solar activity for the month of September shows an average solar flux around 68 units, and again, for your information, the sunspot count way down to 3.3 average for the whole month of September. The most recent forecasts are advancing the expectation that by early 2019, the solar the other end at 5 meters, sloping in the direction of Europe from Havana, approximately 45 degrees azimuth from Havana. I will now reinstall the 3 antennas after the tropical hurricane season is over. I have to wait until the end of November. And meanwhile, a single wire 20 meters and 20 meters dual band antenna will be the mainstay at your 2KK my amateur radio station, keeping it ready to work for in case we need for communications emergency during expected hurricane that may come and may develop in the next several weeks. A question received at our Ask Arnie section of DXers Unlimited. What few broadcasters are using at this time the 13-meter international broadcast band, and absolutely nothing is heard on the 11 meters international broadcast band? The answer to our friends in Canada, Mexico, the United States, and England asking the question. The answer: this is happening because of the very low solar activity that is characteristic of the present state of solar cycle 24, the tail end of solar cycle 24. By the way, there are several well-known indicators that will warn about possible unexpected band openings that happen at any time, like the many amateur radio beacons now operating on 24 hours a day, scheduled 24 hours on the air, automatically on the 10 meters band. So far, I have not heard automatic propagation beacons on the 15 and 12 meter band so far, but someone told me there were some on 15 meters, but I haven't heard them before. Item 4 of today's DXers Unlimited weekend edition has frequency propagation related also. The autumn 12th equatorial propagation season is beginning now in progress. Every day I keep receiving advisories about TEP opening from my friends radio amateurs in the Caribbean and South America. So keep a close watch at the way the maximum usual frequency curve moves up, especially during the afternoon and early evening hours. From time to chances of TEP trans-equatorial propagation conditions are more likely to happen. Now, here is again at the request of many DXers listeners a bit of practical advice coming to you out of many years devoted to monitoring shortwave propagation conditions. It is a very practical and low-cost tip you should put in practice. Just keep the citizen band 47 MHz all radio on the scanning mode in storage reporting mode. Just on the citizen band if you live in the Americas, while it is connected to an external quarter-wave vertical or a global half-wave dipole. And whenever the citizen band signals from far away start to come in via the F2 layer propagation for the CEP, then it is the right time for radio amateurs. Your one to start calling clearly on the adjacent higher frequency 10 meters band. Call several times to insist and you will be rewarded many times to sometimes the X contact on an otherwise apparently dead 10 meters band. And that's a very practical tip. And now we move at the end of the show with a short propagation update to the frequency range between 5 and 30 MHz. A single sunspot has been recent in fact when I taped this show early morning Saturday with an otherwise very quiet sun. Daily solar flux figures around 68 units expected for the next 5 or 6 days to be flat. I'll see you at the midweek edition of DXers Unlimited that will be next Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's the movie, of course, just after the half-hour news bulletin. Send your signal reports, please, and comments to info@enet.cu. I'll say that again. info@, India, November, Foxtrot, Oscar, Romeo, Hotel, Charlie. The symbol for us, ENET, Echo, November, Echo, Tango. The symbol for dot, Charlie uniform. info@enet.cu and via airmail to Arnie Coro. My last name is spelled Charlie, Oscar, Romeo, Oscar. Radio Havana Cuba, Havana, Cuba.
And that's all for today. This is Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur CO2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
Thanks, Arnie. Arnie Coro with DXers Unlimited, heard every weekend here at Radio Havana Cuba. Also the midweek edition on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, UTC days with Arnie Coro.